What if I told you that the wisest people in history were often seen as fools? That the ones who changed the world were dismissed as crazy, naive, or just plain stupid? Think about it. Einstein was called slow in school. Socrates was condemned for corrupting the youth. Even Steve Jobs got fired from his own company. But what if I told you they knew something the rest of the world didn't? Introduction. There's a paradox in life. The people we call fools often turn out to be the wisest of all. The question is, why? Why do we mistake wisdom for foolishness? And more importantly, how can you use this hidden wisdom in your own life? The fool isn't just a character in myths and fairy tales. He's an archetype, a pattern of human behavior that appears throughout history. And if you understand the fool, you unlock a whole new way of thinking. The fool's psychology, why ignorance can look like genius. The fool is fearless because he doesn't know fear. He's willing to ask the stupid questions, challenge the obvious, and take risks no smart person would dare. This is what makes him powerful. Think about it. Who learns more? The person too afraid to ask a question, or the one who looks dumb but gets the answer? True intelligence isn't about knowing everything. It's about being willing to look foolish in the pursuit of truth. The fool sees the world differently. He's not limited by fear, social pressure, or tradition. He asks what no one else dares to ask. He experiments where others hesitate. And ironically, this is what makes him wise. The Dunning-Kruger effect, why fools seem smarter than experts. Here's where things get interesting. There's actual science behind why fools sometimes seem smarter than experts. It's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. This psychological phenomenon shows that people with little knowledge in a subject tend to overestimate their competence. Meanwhile, true experts, aware of how complex a subject really is, tend to underestimate their abilities. This means that in everyday life, we often mistake confidence for intelligence. The person who speaks the loudest, acts the most certain, or refuses to admit when they're wrong can appear incredibly smart, even when they aren't. Meanwhile, the truly wise often doubt themselves, ask more questions, and hesitate to make bold claims. So what does this teach us? That wisdom isn't about always being right. It's about knowing that you don't know everything. And that's where the fool has an advantage. The fool doesn't pretend to be an expert. He knows he's on a journey. And that humility is exactly what allows him to grow while others stay stagnant. Why society needs fools. Every major revolution, every big shift in history, began with someone who was willing to look foolish. The scientist who questioned the obvious, the artist who painted outside the lines, the entrepreneur who bet everything on an idea no one believed in. Society thrives on structure, tradition, and predictability. But growth, real progress, only happens when someone dares to break the pattern. And that person always looks like a fool at first. When Galileo said the earth revolves around the sun, they called him mad. When Van Gogh painted in ways no one understood, they dismissed him as crazy. When Elon Musk said we'd colonize Mars, people laughed. And yet, history has proven time and time again, the fool today is the genius of tomorrow. How to use this wisdom in your life. So what does this mean for you? How can you take this wisdom and apply it to your own life? It starts with one simple mindset shift. Stop fearing foolishness. Ask questions, even if they seem dumb. Every great discovery started with someone daring to ask. Take risks, even if people doubt you. The biggest regrets in life come not from failure, but from never trying. Challenge common sense. Just because something is widely accepted doesn't mean it's true. The fool's wisdom isn't about being reckless. It's about being free. Free from the fear of failure. Free from the limits of social approval. Free to explore, experiment, and evolve. Conclusion. The journey of the fool isn't about staying foolish. It's about transforming. Every great thinker, leader, and innovator started as a fool, someone willing to take risks, to ask questions, and to challenge the status quo. So don't be afraid to look foolish. Be afraid of never trying, never questioning, never stepping outside of what's safe. Because in the end, the fool who dares to begin is the one who becomes the master. If this video inspired you, make sure to subscribe for more insights on psychology, wisdom, and personal growth. And remember, the world belongs to those brave enough to play the fool.